All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever thought about the shortest chapters in the Qur'an? The ones we recite all the time? What if they aren't just separate messages, but actually part of a hidden pattern? A kind of rhythm that maps out the entire journey of the human soul?
It's a really fascinating question to ask, isn't it? I mean, when we read them, do we just see individual pieces of advice? Or is there something bigger connecting them all? Like a code hiding in plain sight?
Well, what if I told you they trace out a perfect waveform, a kind of spiritual frequency that describes our journey through three fundamental states? We go through a state of trial, a state of abundance, and finally a state of return. So today, we're going to decode this rhythm. We're going to look at how three very specific, very short surahs or chapters reveal this incredible spiritual circuit. I want you to picture a pendulum, right? It swings from one side through the middle to the other and back again. The chapters we're looking at, Surah 108, 103, and 110. They aren't just a list. They actually represent this exact back and forth oscillation between spiritual states.
So here is how we map those numbers to their real meaning. Surah 108, that's abundance. It's the starting point. Surah 103, that signifies the trial, the tough part. And Surah 110, that's the final return. This is the basic three-step journey that's coded right into the book.
So where does this whole journey start? You might think it begins with a hardship, but it's actually the opposite. It doesn't start with a trial. It starts with a gift. The first swing of the pendulum is a moment of pure divine favor.
And this verse is the absolute key. We have given you al-Kawthar, abundance. But notice there are two parts. First, you receive this incredible gift. And second, there's a required response. You have to turn back to your Lord in prayer and sacrifice. It's a cause and an effect.
So what exactly is al-Kawthar? Well, it's not just about money or status. It's a deep spiritual gift, a kind of divine preference. This is what we can call the life pole of our journey. It's that moment we're given something truly extraordinary. So the soul gets this abundance, and this could be anything, a huge success at work, the joy of a family, or even just a moment of profound insight. But here's the catch. It's a test, not a reward. The biggest risk here is arrogance. You start to believe you earned it, that it's all yours. The right response, the correct spiritual posture, is gratitude. And you show that gratitude through prayer and sacrifice, acknowledging where the gift really came from.
Okay, so from that high point of abundance, the pendulum has to swing downward into the next phase, the descent into trial. This is where that gift gets tested by the friction of just, well, existing.
And this verse here defines that trial perfectly. Swearing an oath by time itself, it lays out a universal default setting. Humanity is in a state of loss. But, and this is a huge but, it then gives us the way out. It lists the exact qualities you need to overcome that default state. You see, this is why Al-Asr isn't just about clocks ticking. It is the field of our spiritual trial. The source material calls it the fire pit. Not a literal fire, but that feeling of dissonance, where what we believe and what we actually do are put to the ultimate test. So the bottom line is this. We naturally start in a state of loss. We all feel that gap between our faith and our actions. The only way to reverse this spiritual decay is with a powerful combination. You need that unshakable faith, you need righteous actions that actually reflect it, and maybe most importantly, you need to encourage each other towards truth and patience. So after swinging through abundance and dropping down into trial, the pendulum starts its journey back up. But this isn't about returning to some kind of personal glory. No, this is about finding victory in the act of complete surrender. I mean, just look at this incredible response to victory. When divine help comes and you succeed, the instruction isn't to throw a party for yourself. It's to glorify your Lord and, get this, to seek forgiveness. It is the ultimate act of humility, right when you're at your strongest. This completely changes what we think of as victory. A Nasr is not about worldly conquest. It's a cosmic realignment. It's a moment when things just click back into their proper divine order. It means the soul has completed its circuit and fulfilled its purpose.
So in this final stage, the soul's journey comes full circle. Real victory is seeing a return to divine oneness, and your response isn't pride, it's humility. This act of seeking forgiveness is what seals the loop, bringing the journey to a perfect end without you falling into the trap of ego. Okay, now let's put all three of these phases together. When you do, you see it's not a straight line. It's a dynamic, oscillating waveform that defines the soul's entire journey.
It's all right here. The swing out towards abundance in Surah 108 is about receiving a gift. The drop down into trial in Surah 103 is about being tested by time itself. And that final swing back up, the return in Surah 110, is about surrendering the victory, which is what completes the whole circuit. And these aren't just abstract ideas. They're embodied by prophets. You have Prophet Ibrāhīm, or Abraham, who represents that life pole. He receives abundance and immediately walks into the fire of trial. On the other side, you have the final prophet, Ahmad, also known as Muhammad, who represents the return pole. He achieves victory but responds with the patience and truth that were forged in that trial. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. How does the soul find peace? How does that pendulum stop swinging so wildly? It only stabilizes when all three parts are integrated. When the humility you learn from victory meets the gratitude and sacrifice you learn from abundance, all of it held together by the patience you forged in your trials. So, you see, this isn't just some clever analogy. The source material is making a huge claim here, that this pattern, this waveform, is a fundamental spiritual blueprint embedded directly into the Qur'an itself.
And that leaves you with a final, really incredible question. If this amazing, elegant structure exists between just 3 short chapters, what other hidden rhythms, what other divine codes are just waiting there to be discovered by anyone who stops to reflect?